I started rowing my freshman year of high school simply because my two older brothers did. And so I was following them to the same school and I didn't really have a choice.
I started rowing in like grade 6 when I was maybe like 12 or something. Mainly because I was playing soccer and then I stopped and I was just like looking for something else to do. And I ended up with rowing. To some extent because my grandparents rowed.
I started rowing because I ran an 18-minute 2-mile time freshman year of high school, which is like a 9-minute mile, and I got cut from the soccer team. So rowing was a way of getting back into shape for soccer, but once I started rowing and kind of got into the sport, I just fell in love with the idea of being part of something, a lot greater than yourself.
I hadn't rowed before college. I kind of showed up at Hobart after playing hockey my whole life, and that came to an end. So I was just looking for a team to join. I was contemplating showing up to the Hobart lacrosse tryouts, but I didn't even make it to one of the tryouts because rowing started like a week earlier, and Coach B just kind of talked me into staying with them. So that's kind of how I started rowing.
I think for Tony, I have a pretty clear, I really remember my first impression. We're sitting on international student orientation in Geneva, at HWS, sitting on the bus. He was vaping on the bus next to me and was
Smoking, vaping.
Yeah, he was I want to join the rowing team. And I was like, sure, yeah, good luck. And then he tried out and he did fairly well, and he went on to row on a really high level at University of Victoria for 2 years after college as well, and now we're doing this together. So
our head coach of the rowing program was a real kind of hardo. Even a good excuse is still an excuse. Very formative in all of our lives, but we were in a team meeting and he was just very, very angry at the team, and it was the first thing, Mo had been on campus for a couple months and it was the first thing that he ever showed up late to. Our coach in front of the team, calling out Mo, "Where the hell were you? You're late." And he goes, "Sorry, coach, I was feeding the homeless." And he had literally been volunteering in the local community that he had just come to as a foreigner. And it was just the most Mo thing ever, because the only time that he's really messed up around us is when he's being selfless. So that was one of the first, fond memories I had of him. I have no idea how true that is, but I remember something like that.
Yeah, definitely remember Dave as a work hard, party hard type of guy. Always really hard working during the week, and then
really hard playing
on Saturday. Dave actually was training to be I had this big goal of being a Coast Guard rescue swimmer for a long time, which unfortunately didn't work out because of his eyesight. That definitely inspired me to use the skills and fitness that we have and that we work for through rowing for something good.
I didn't overlap with Ryan for all that long, just a few months, but my kind of immediate impression of him was he just gravitated towards all the guys in the team or people in the community that were working really hard and doing really well, and just kind of struck up relationships with all of them. And just kind of, I think it's really important that when you're first in an environment that's either new or an environment that you really want to succeed in, that quote unquote don't talk as much, right? So you kind of listen, see what's going on around you, see who's having a lot of success and why. I think that's exactly what Ryan did for his first semester or 2 semesters at our college, and it just paid off really well for him, I think.
First time I had met you was we were walking down to the dock, I think just to go for a swim or something.
Yeah.
And Mo was kind of already acquainted with Ryan. I hadn't, I guess he had spent some more time with you and all that, and I was coming out, met you and whatever, and then I remember you telling me that you had done the Goggins 4x48 or something.
Yeah.
And I think that summer I attempted to do a full Ironman off the couch, swim in my pool, bike by my house, and then I was running laps around my block. And I remember just hearing about how you had done that, and I was trying to do similar things. I think that probably sparked some sort of friendship, or just just got the ball rolling, just because we had that common ground of oh, I just tried doing something crazy hard. We probably had a conversation about doing those two things and just like whatever. And then we went for a swim and just had a good time. But
So we were all on Hobart rowing. We were all doing the same thing. We shared a lot of common ground with most of our teammates, with, you know, our character traits, what we're looking for in college. But there definitely was something that set the group of us four apart. And I think it was exactly like he said. It was that kind of quiet respect of one another.
I think we all like kind of had the urge to do something mentally and physically hard, like really hard, at least like once in our life. And that's the opportunity we have to pursue it.
We're doing it for the fame and the glory.
Yeah.
I think the common themes are, it's something that's bigger than us. It's something that we can use, you know, our skills, abilities, and our interests to make an impact on our communities. So I think those are kind of the common big whys as to why we signed up for this and pursuing something that takes so much effort just to get to the start line, let alone, you know, spend 30 days in a really volatile environment